Hi, good evening to all. Today's topic is all about the principles of the sound lending. We look at the meaning of lending first. When people or organizations such as banks lend you money, they give it to you and then you agree to pay it back at a future date, often with an extra amount as interest. The financial institutions, such as banks, usually lend money to the borrower. They give it to you now in the name of loans or advances. After receiving the money now, the borrower has to pay it back at a future date with an interest. It is called lending. Principles of the sound lending. The most important use of banks' money is lending. Yet there are risks in lending. The banks follow certain principles to minimize the risk. Whenever the banker lend money to the borrower, there are associated a lot of risks with them. So the banker should follow certain principles to minimize those risks. The first one is safety of deposited money. The bank uses the money of depositors in granting loans and advances. The bank uses the depositors' money for the purpose of granting loans and advances. First of all, initially the banker will granting loans should think first of the safety of a depositor's money. The bankers first duty should think the safety of the depositor's money. How to save the depositor's money. The purpose behind the safety is to see the financial position of the borrower, whether he can pay the debt as well as interest easily. The banker should research the financial position of the borrower, whether he is able to pay the debt along with the interest easily. Then only they can grant the loans or advances to the borrower. Next is liquidity. It is a legal duty of the banker to pay on demand the total deposited money to the depositor. Whenever depositor comes to the bank, the banker should pay their under demand. It is a legal duty of the banker. So the banker has to keep a certain percent cash of the total deposit on hand. To meet that purpose, the banker should keep a certain percentage of cash of the total deposits. Moreover, the bank grants loans. It is also for the addition for the short-term or productive capital. Such the type of lending is the recovered and demand. Basically, the banker should keep a certain percent of cash in hand to meet certain situation, so face the situations. Next is the profitability. Commercial bank is a profit earning institutes. Nationalized banks are also not an exception. Commercial bank motive main motive is to profit to make the profit from their banking business. Nationalized banks are also following the same. The nationalized banks follow the same. They should have planning of deposits in a profitability way, pay more interest to the depositors and more salary to the employees. The bank should have the proper planning of deposits, how to profit from out of the deposits. For that, we have to pay the more interest to the depositors and the more salary to the employees. Moreover, the banker can also incur business cost and can give more benefits to customer. The maintenance na cost also na incur na for banker by banker, but also na give more benefits to customer. Next is the purpose of loan. Banks never lend or advance for any type of purpose. Banks never lend or advances na for all the person. The banks grants loans and advances for the safety of its wealth and the certainty of a recovery of loan, and the bank lends only for the productive purposes. Whenever they give loans now or advances now, they should keep in concern, they should keep in mind the safety of the deposited money and the surety of recovery of loan, and the loan makes some profit. These three criteria the banker will look at while granting loans or advances. For example, the banks will give such loans for the requirement for unproductive purposes. The last point is all about the principle of diversification of risks. With lending loans or advances, the banks normally keep such securities and assets as supports so that the lending may be safe and secured. And the customer approaches banker, they will ask to the borrower to submit some collaterals or securities for the purpose of safety and secured. Suppose any particular state is hit by disasters, but the bank shall get benefits from the lending to another state's units. Thus, the effect and the entire business of banking is reduced. Through which the banker will overcome the risks associated with the lending of loans and advances. Thank you. We will see you again with another session. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed. Bye.